Well, hello YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino Rhino Beer Review. Today we are drinking a beer, and I've had this beer in the past, and the last time I had it was when me and the Chuck and the Man-Child and a few other people would do the Bugsy's beer card in St. Catharines, Ontario. Bugsy's Poorhouse had 100 beers, and you would get a beer, 100 beers of the world. Basically, they were mostly all macro beers. And there was a few craft beers in there, but for the most part it was macro beers, and you would get a card, and you filled that card up, and you just would order a beer. You had a year to drink all 100 beers, and you got things. At 33 you got a glass, at 66 you got a shirt, and at 100 you would get your name engraved on the wall. And I did that card 2 or 3 times in my time with them, and every time I got to this beer on that card, I hated it. Now, the thing with Bugsy's is they would buy the beers and they would never get rid of them. I remember having a beer one time that was 6 months out of date. I remember having one that was a year out of date. And so, a lot of times it was craft beers that weren't meant to be aged. A lot of times it was beers in green or clear bottles. So it was stuff that you never knew for sure if you had the right taste of it. So I'm kind of excited to get this semi-fresher than what I would have had at Bugsy's. And this is McEwan Scotch Ale. Now, I've heard a lot of things about some McEwan's products. And I remember saying this tasted like it was brewed inside a sheep's stomach, basically making fun of haggis. This is 8% alcohol by volume. I actually do like Scotch ales, and I was always more a malt guy than a hop guy, even in my early drinking days, so I'm hoping that I just had old batches that just didn't taste very well. Get that tiny drop of water out of there. Now, these are my favorite tasting glasses. I've said it every single time, but what I like to do when it's time for the nose is just fill the glass up to right under the bowl, and then you have the whole neck of the glass to get your aroma from. So, we'll just put that bottle right there. Nice ruby red color. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but that is a ruby red color. The head was off-white when we had it. Let's see if we can get any head back. There we go. An off-white, nice little head. Any viscosity? Oh yeah, there's some viscosity on that. That's beautiful. Okay, visual appeal of this beer is beautiful. I love that deep, dark red color. That ruby red color. Let's smell it. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, some malt. And some greeniness, and a slight banana-like scent, almost like yeast esters from a Belgian. Interesting. There it is, not fully poured, but poured for more than just the nose. And visual appeal on this beer is nice. I love that head. I love that look. It's a nice looking beer. So I guess it's time to try it, right? 8% alcohol, product of Scotland. One second here, I'm just trying to read something on the back. Wells and Young Brewing. Is it actually a product of Scotland then? Because Wells and Young is the UK, isn't it? Are they just playing a game with us? Yeah, it can't be. I don't know. I don't even care anymore. I don't know. The address they gave was straight up just UK. It didn't say Scotland. So I don't know why. The bottle itself doesn't advertise it as a product of Scotland, but the website that I used to track it down did. And yeah, whatever. I don't even care. It might be a Scottish beer, it might just be an English beer. If it's just an English beer, I'm being lied to by the beer store. Who would have ever expected that? Okay, let's get into the beer. Cheers, guys. Not nearly as bad as I remember it. Kind of reminds me of Malta, for those of you that have had the Malta non-alcoholic malt beverage. Like a caramel taste. Malted taste. And a little bit of a dirty background from English hops. Bad? Not at all. So I'm going to assume that either this brew has has become more appealing over the years, or the bottles I had were ancient at Bugsy's. Excuse me. But I mean, back then at my beginning days, I was also more akin to macros. The only real non-macro beer I drank was Innocent Gun way back then, because this was back in like 2007, 2008, that type of time. So yeah, I was well, not even earlier than that. At some points, I think the last time I was at Bugsy's was 2008, and then at my birthday in 2010. I think those were my last two times there. And my birthday in 2010, we did the whole drinking card that night. Yeah, there's nothing special about it, but there's nothing wrong about it. I mean, it tastes like Malta. It tastes like Malta and hops. That's about it. Is that a bad thing? No, it's not a bad thing. Is it a great thing? No, not really either. I mean, I don't want to drink a non-alcoholic malt beverage that just has that super sweet taste to it. And that's what this has. The hangover I could imagine from this single beer, well, not from one beer of it, but from this single beer is immense. Now, this is 8% alcohol, and that's a scary thing when you think about it, because it doesn't have an alcohol taste at all. It would fuck you up royally. Fuck you up royally. There's nothing wrong with it. It actually kind of tastes, if I was to compare it to another macro beer, I would have to say it kind of tastes like a Heineken or a Beck's or something dark. Those dark Euro lagers where they just have that, they're just a dark beer with an extra sweetness to it. That's kind of what this is. Out of 10 on it, it's not bad. I'd probably give it a 6. I could drink it. I could drink a 6-pack of it if I had to. As long as somebody else is paying for it, I can drink this without complaining. And I mean, I know you go, oh my god, well, somebody else is paying for it, you should be able to drink anything. Well, it's not true. It's not true. Once you get over a certain amount of beers, it doesn't matter who's paying for it. There's beers you're going to bitch about. And it might not even be because it was your money wasted. It might be because your buddy wasted his money. It might be because it's just that horrible that you want to strangle somebody. You don't know what it is, but you just can't do it. So thank you, everybody, for watching. Have a wonderful evening. Good night to you. Good drinking to you. Drink good beer. Drink local if you want to. I mean, I personally like to drink local, but if you don't want to, don't drink local. I don't even care what you do. I don't care what you do. Watch, comment, talk to me. Join us for Beer Dweebs United. Do whatever the fuck you want. I don't give a shit. Thumbs me down if you're that motherfucker that thumbs down every video. You're an asshole, too. No, you're not. I don't even give a shit about you. I just think it's funny that you spend your day going through 2,500 videos, thumbing them all down. Good work. Bye, guys.